Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Star Wars year has finally come upon us. Yes, it is indeed 2019. Now, as with so many things, I can give you the real reason Star Wars year came about, or I can give you a nice fake reason. See, the fake reason sounds so much cooler than the real reason. I could be like, 2019 is the 10-year anniversary of the channel, and so I'm going to devote the entire year to Star Wars. Now, that is what ended up happening, but that's not why it happened. I decided to devote 2019 to Star Wars simply because it came to me by random. A lot of my big ideas come to me at random. Usually there might be some little background stuff, but mostly it's just like, I want to do that, and then I do it. And so for Star Wars year, I was like, I want to do that. And I did it. It just so happened to coincide with it being the 10-year anniversary of the YouTube channel, and it worked out pretty well that way. Don't tell anyone, I didn't plan it. So anyway, Star Wars year is a go. As of this video going up, the first review of the year is not up yet. And that's mainly because it takes a lot of work, and I still got to find a few ancillary pieces of crap to go in it. I've already recorded the gameplay footage, and it's pretty much ready. And I've got all the footage that I need, but I still need to find a few toys here and there, and a little bit of background stuff as well. So the first two reviews of 2019 is of course going to be Shadows of the Empire, the PC version, because the N64 version does not emulate 100% properly, and Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is going to be the 10-year anniversary video. I totally planned it that way. Don't tell anyone I didn't. In the Shadows of the Empire video, I'm going to have a segment devoted to the Shadows of the Empire toy line. In fact, I recently bought this Dash Rendar's Outrider. Now, do you want the fake reason or do you want the real reason? I bought this for the review. In all reality, I was talking on Discord with a variety of individuals. They showed me that they had one. I was like, I kind of want that. I popped over onto eBay, found this for 36 bucks, complete and loose, and I wanted it loose so I could actually display it. And that's why I have Dash Rendar's Outrider now, and it's on display. Dash Rendar's Outrider is an excellent, excellent toy. The cockpit's not 100% correct, but you still have to see the action figure. There's so much detailing on here. It's quite amazing. Now, I haven't figured out how to deploy the action feature. Oh, that's how you do it. Well, I think. There we go. Yeah, you got this weird action feature where you can do that. That didn't happen in the game. So I'm not really sure why it can do this, or why you would design a ship to be able to do that. But you can, and you can fly it around like a B-wing, like some bastard child of a B-wing. I'm not really sure why you can do that, but you can. And that's how you do it. I was not aware how you actually deployed that until literally just now. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that again. I don't want this thing to break, and this thing's really old now, and it's in really good shape. But that's how you do that. Let's see. I can probably do this another time, but I want to look. Okay, it's fine. It's well enough. Let's deploy the excellent landing gear, and let's land the Dash Rendar Outrider. Now, as of this recording, I am still looking for the Dash Rendar figures that I have. I have two of them. But that Outrider, excellent toy. I've also gotten out a lot of my Star Wars games, which we're going to show off right now. This is my original copy of Shadows of the Empire. Bought this back in 1998. Bought it used, but I think it was still something like 40 bucks. It was not cheap. I had to save for a long time to get this. I'm actually going to be reviewing the box and even the game cartridge in the video itself. We got, this isn't going to be for a number of months, but we got Episode 1 Razor also doing the PC version, but still got my original box. This is the game. I mentioned in a live stream that I was at a Target that thankfully still exists, although I never go there, that I wanted to get Empire Strikes Back on the Game Boy. My grandfather looked at that game and was like, if we come back in 2 weeks, we can get you a real game, and that was the real game. This thing was absolutely excellent back in the day, and still is pretty fun even to this day. Sort of like a Star Wars version of of F-Zero. Next month, we're going to be taking a look at Jedi Academy and this game, Blockbuster the game? No, this is N64 Star Wars Rogue Squadron. This I got used many, many years ago, back in the I think this was 99 or 2000. I don't remember exactly when they were selling off all the N64 stock, when they were getting into PS2s and stuff like that. But I was so happy to get this game finally, because I rented it a lot. From Blockbuster, no less. And I'm actually quite happy that I got the Blockbuster thing. I love this shell because, you know, now that Blockbuster's dead, it's so cool to actually have one of these. You know, it's very, very awesome. Because this in and of itself is a collector's item all its own. It says on the box here, 12/08/98. So I guess that's when they got the game in, although that's not when I got it. Here's a game that's not going to be reviewed because I can't play it. It won't emulate, and I know there's a PC version, but there's not a GOG version of that. Star Wars Battle for Naboo. This was also... Oh, this was bought from a Hollywood Video. I don't know how many of you even know those exist. This is not a game that was for rent, but they were selling this off for really cheap. This is an excellent game, actually. Done by the same people, I believe, who did Rogue Squadron. I don't know if this was Factor 5 or not, but it definitely was one way that made Episode 1 palatable. Let's see what else we got here. We got a whole bag of games I'm just going to be showing off right now. Jedi Knight 2, no, Jedi Knight 1, Dark Forces 2. This is actually my original copy from 1997. It doesn't have a cover because I don't know where it is, but still got the 2 discs. Another excellent game. Absolutely love this game. The full motion videos, nothing short of amazing. And the gameplay also is quite good as well. But the full motion video is what I always remember because it's like really Star Wars. Got Battlefront 2 here. Now, I have other games. I'm going to do a whole video on the games themselves, but I just thought I would add this to the update vlog. This is going to be, I think, in March that I'm going to review this copy, or review this game. I have the Xbox copy as well that I'm also going to be talking about. And I'm also going to be talking about the PSP version as well. We got Battlefront 1. This is going to be way in the future this year. I don't want to talk about all the legendary games at once. There's going to be legendary games to start out the year, and then towards the middle of the year, it's just going to be kind of generic ones with a legendary one here and there. And then at the end of the year, you get all the legendaries. I still have not found my copy of TIE Fighter and X-Wing yet. I have no clue where they are, and I'm going to continue looking for them. I hope I can find them soon enough. We got Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, my original disc copy. I'm, of course, going to be talking about the... Whoa! Okay, what idiot did that? You get to see this live, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so some idiot, likely named GeneralLotz, put Jedi Academy in the Jedi Knight 2 thing. Obviously too lazy to put it back in the Jedi Academy jewel case. That's how it used to be back then, when you actually had physical media. Okay, at least disc 2 is in there. I'd hate to have to try to dig that thing out. But, yeah, I got Jedi Academy, the CD version. But this, I'm also going to be talking about as well. Let's see, how scratched up is that? Yeah, it's not too scratched up. But anyway, I'm going to talk about, like, so much is on this one compact disc. It's not even funny. I already got the gameplay footage for that. It took me a long time to get it, too, because that game is long. I've got 9 hours of gameplay footage off of that. One little CD-ROM. And of course, you know, we got Jedi Academy. That's going to be February. That's my birthday review, because I like this game even more than Jedi Knight 2. I mean, this is a damn good game. I initially started playing it on the Xbox, but then got the PC version contemporaneously with having the Xbox, because it actually ran on that old Dell. Then we, of course, have my favorite game of all time, KOTOR 2. This is my favorite game of all time. Just of them all. I know it's like, oh, it should be Doom, right? No, it's this game. I love this game more than you can possibly imagine. This is the old CD copy. I even have the big, thick manual. It's just beautiful. It is an amazing, amazing game. I highly recommend it. Better story than KOTOR, and KOTOR 1, believe me, has an amazing story in and of itself. And then, of course, we have Star Wars Empire at War. This is my original copy, too, from 2007, I want to say. This is an absolutely excellent RTS. I'd actually say I like it a bit more than Galactic Battlegrounds, which I still haven't found yet. It's got to be somewhere. I actually got gifted it by Shadowstorm, but I still want to find my disc copy to talk about the actual physical disc in the review, even if I'm not going to use it. Excellent game. This is one of 2 games I got when I got my new laptop in 2007, when I finally moved on from that Dell. This game is just excellent. So many good mods for this. I even did a number of videos with the mods a number of years back, but I'm finally going to review it. Just amazing, amazing RTS. Oh, what else we got? We're running out of games, even though there's still more that I gotta find. What is this? Oh, here we go. I already reviewed this, but I'll talk about it anyway, because I dug it out. Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi, another amazing game. I don't actually have any of the other Super Star Wars games with me right now. They're in another box. They weren't with the other Super Nintendo games, so I don't know what happened to them. I'm sure they will come up. I will find them at some point in the future, but this is the one I did find. Already did a video on this many, many years ago. Very fun game, very difficult game. You want a lot of save states, but I did get pretty far in this game without them. I actually did get to the Battle of Endor, but I don't think I ever beat it, though. In fact, I can almost guarantee you I didn't. But yeah, really fun game. This was actually one of the first Super Nintendo games I bought after I lost all my Super Nintendo games. And one thing that's kind of funny about that game is I remember renting it the night that I got to go see Lost World Jurassic Park. I mean, that movie might not be that good, but I still remember going to see it as a kid. Alright, so we've got here Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. I do have Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga on PC, and that's what I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to be reviewing both the prequel Lego Star Wars games and this one. But this is the only one I played back in the day. I did not like the prequels. I still don't really, but I can accept some of them a little bit more. But that's the one I got. I bought this new for $50, and let me tell you something. It was worth $50. This is an amazing Lego game, and all the Lego games are generally pretty good. But you know, original trilogy, characters you care about, settings you actually like, excellent game all around. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, I want to say, is March. I think it's March as well. We got Star Wars Bounty Hunter. This is my PS2 copy. I do not know where my GameCube copy is. I'm actually going to be reviewing the GameCube version because it does have slightly better graphics. But I initially played it on the PS2. When I first got it, all I had was the disc. And then I was able to get for free the manual and the box here. This game is pretty good. That's what I'll say. It's pretty good. It's got some finicky platforming segments. It gets a little boring in places, but overall, a pretty solid game. I don't know why it never got a PC or Xbox release. It's only came out on PS2 and GameCube. But it's an overlooked game just because you have to either have a PS2 or a GameCube to play it. But I can tell you this, if you have it, it's pretty good. It's definitely a game that does not deserve to be forgotten. Speaking of a game that deserves to be forgotten, this is actually going to be a comedy review, along with a game called Masters of Terrakazi, or however the fuck you pronounce that. What we got here is Star Wars Connect. Oh, Star Wars Connect. I'm going to be honest, the only time I actually saw anyone play it was in that JonTron video. Oh, I'm going to rake this over the coals like you wouldn't believe. You know, Masters of Takaraga, or however you pronounce that bloody game's name, you know, I'd actually rather play that than this. This is going to be a hilarious exercise in futility because, you know, Star Wars Connect, man. Star Wars Connect. I mean, what can even be said about that? You know, it's like, that's what LucasArts turned into. Just utter schlock. You know, I'll grab one more game. Actually, wait, what is... Oh, it's a VMU unit that I have to take the battery out of. Let me go grab 2 more games, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, 3 more. I lied. Oh! Of course, I have my Best of PC collection. Now, by the time I got this, I didn't need it, but I wanted it. Mainly because I wanted a physical copy of one game that's on here. The Best of PC comes with Empire at War, but not an expansion, so I didn't even need that. It comes with Star Wars Battlefront, which I already had, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast, already had, and Star Wars Republic Commando, which I already had. But the one game I didn't have for PC at that time was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. The standalone disc version of that is not cheap, whereas this was, I believe, $30 back when I got it, so it was more than worth it, and I was really happy to have Knights of the Old Republic physical. Now, of course, I have KOTOR 1 and 2 on Steam, but, well, I had to have it. I had to have it. I'm that big of a Star Wars fan. And the last two, ladies and gentlemen, you already got to see one of these. The Xbox version of Republic Commando. And, of course, the Xbox version of Battlefront 2. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do have quite a few Star Wars games, and I have even more than this. They just are missing at the moment. So, yeah, Star Wars Month, or Star Wars Year, I should say, is something I'm actually looking forward to it. A lot of times, you know, it's like, oh, God, so much more work I got to do on these videos, but with Star Wars Year, I can't wait to play the games. I loved playing Shadows of the Empire. It holds up remarkably. Actually, no, it's not that it holds up. It's just fun in general. I loved playing every minute of that game. I liked the game a lot. I loved it. It was a breath of fresh air. And Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, oh, it was just wonderful. I absolutely love that game. And every game down there, I can't wait to do. I literally can't. I mean, you know, I haven't sat and played a game for as long as I did Jedi Knight 2. You know, it's like a lot of time these games, like, I'll die once, like, done. I'm just going to go do something else. But with Jedi Knight 2, I would just reload the save. Because I wanted to keep playing. Because it's that good. So, what other content will you expect to see in Star Wars Year? Well, cooking videos are still going to go up. In fact, I think this is going up on a Thursday. There's going to be a cooking video on a Friday. And the cooking video is going to be a popcorn. Thanks to Rage Kill, I know how to make homemade popcorn. And the homemade popcorn, it is absolutely delicious. Like, you know, in America, we get access to crappy food. In fact, I'm going to mention that in that video. But the food we get here is overly processed. You know, all the meat is filled with human growth hormone and crap like that. So when you finally get real food, it's like, oh, that's what real food tastes like. Because most people in America, they just eat the microwave popcorn. They pop it in the microwave. Even the microwaves are labeled with a button that just says popcorn. And they eat that. And if that's all you've had, it's like, yeah, like, popcorn's okay, I guess. And I stopped eating popcorn for years now because, you know, it all tasted so crappy. I don't even eat movie popcorn because it tastes so crappy. And then I made some homemade popcorn, and, well, I just devoured that crap like you wouldn't believe. I just shoveling it in. I ate it like every night for like a week. It was so good. So, yeah, I just imagine, like, if I actually got some real meat, you know, like real soda made with, like, real stuff. I drink soda with cane sugar, but, like, even less processed than that. So, yeah. And one of the things I do show is this. This is my DVD copy of Star Wars Unaltered. This came with a special edition set that I have, but it's in a box. I don't know where that box is. But this is Unaltered. It's the Laserdisc version. It's in 4x3, but you know what? I actually have a physical release of the Unaltered Episode 4. And I also got 5 and 6 as well, but I don't actually have them here with me. So, yeah. The next food review after the popcorn review is going to be homemade smoothies, which are really easy to do. It's literally just, you take a bunch of frozen fruit, you toss it in a blender, and that's pretty much it. You can add some honey, you can add like some milk if you want, although I wouldn't. But it's super easy to make, and I absolutely love homemade smoothies. After that, I might do one more snack video on homemade fudge, because one time I had homemade fudge. It was basically your basic chocolate fudge, but it was covered in white chocolate. Oh, it was absolutely heavenly. I must have gained like 10 pounds because I just fucking shoveled that shit down my throat, that's for sure. That came out wrong. But anyway, I just shoveled it down like I was going to die without it. Ooh, I forgot a Star Wars game. And yes, I am that excited about Star Wars. Here we go. I forgot about this one. Xbox version of KOTOR 2. I don't even have an Xbox version of KOTOR 1, but I had to have an Xbox version of Knights of the Old Republic 2. This is how I first played it. Oh, Knights of the Old Republic 2. How I love thee. This, of course, is the Platinum Hits version, but I got it when it came out. Knights of the Old Republic 2. Amazing story. Amazing gameplay. Because, like, so many people have only played KOTOR 1. I'm like, why? KOTOR 1's great, but KOTOR 2, everything about... Okay. KOTOR 2 is to KOTOR 1 what KOTOR 1 is to just about every other, sci-fi RPG. Like, Mass Effect pales in comparison to KOTOR 1. And KOTOR 1 pales in comparison to KOTOR 2. Play this game, you will not be disappointed. And, most importantly, if you haven't played it till now, you actually get an ending. I love KOTOR 2 so much, and this game doesn't even have an ending. It doesn't end, it just sort of fizzles out because Lucas, in his infinite wisdom, wanted this out by Christmas, and so they had to cut the ending. Now, in the modern era, the ending is actually finished, and you can actually play it just by downloading it off of ModDB. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got food. What about gun reviews? Gun reviews are still going to be coming along. I was originally committed for this week do the Rock Island M200. That's going to be postponed. I've got the shooting footage for that, but I have to postpone that till the week after next. Just because I don't have enough time to do that video. The popcorn video I can literally slap together in about 30 minutes. Because it's literally just me making popcorn. It's not a particularly difficult recipe. Whereas putting together a gun review takes considerably longer. Although not as long as the Star Wars game reviews. Got more stuff to show to the camera. Let's hopefully... Let me actually fix the camera after I almost knocked it over. Because I am an idiot. Alright, now... I dug out some props. Dug out some props for the various Star Wars videos. Let's hope I don't step on Dash Rendar's Outrider like an idiot. Now, I did not actually expect to find these, but I did. And we'll start with this one first. We, of course, have, and yes, I'm well aware it looks pretty nasty, the E11 blaster rifle. It was not in a sealed box. So it's got all this brown gunk on it that I've got to try to clean off before the Jedi Knight 2 video. Because hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid. But this is an excellent little prop. I had this as a kid. I did not get this first, though. I'll show you the first one I got in just a moment. But I do love the E11 blaster rifle. Even though it's bright white, it still looks pretty cool. If I can't get that brown gunk off of it, I'm so tempted to just paint this black because that's what it's supposed to look like. But I always loved the E11 as a kid. I did not get this until fairly late, though. The first blaster I ever had was... Han Solo's DL-44. Yeah, I know it's bright red, so sue me. It's... stupid laws, but I loved this blaster as a kid, and thankfully, it was in a box, and it was sealed, so there's no brown gunk on it. Now, I believe this is just a repaint of the original Han Solo blaster from, like, the 70s, but, man, getting this as a kid, I was so happy. Like, you would not believe how happy I was to open this up on Christmas morning, okay? Because I've always been a big Star Wars fan. I've been consistent with my Star Wars fandom my entire life. I jumped on the Power Rangers bandwagon as a really young kid, and I jumped on the Pokemon bandwagon, but I never got off the Star Wars bandwagon, I can tell you that. And I'll actually tell you of a memory that I still have even after all these years. Okay, and I actually got the scene wrong in the when I did it. Okay, so I opened this up on Christmas morning, and I'm like, oh, I got Han Solo's blaster. Of course, I'm blasting, stuff like that. And I called my grandmother up. And I was like, I got Han Solo's blaster, and then when I went to hang up, I was like, this is a boring conversation anyway, and I pretended to shoot the phone. However, I recently rewatched the scene, and Han Solo shoots. He doesn't even use the DL-44. He uses the E11, but he shoots the comm panel first, then says boring conversation anyway. So I got it wrong. Screw you, 5-year-old me. Get it right. And last but not least, in terms of Star Wars weapons, we have the Luke Skywalker lightsaber here. This is his Return of the Jedi lightsaber. Let's see if we can get all that in frame. I'm, of course, going to be using it as props in the videos. Now, I know everybody loves their Force Effect sabers. By the time those came out, I still like Star Wars, but so much stuff had been going on in the EU that I didn't like that I just was like, whatever, I'm not going to buy one. So the only lightsaber I have is this. My Darth Vader lightsaber has a broken blade, and it's in a box. I don't even have a clue where it's at. my early lightsabers. I had 2 lightsabers before this one growing up. And you gotta remember, Force effects is a very new thing. Okay, Force effects, you know, everybody today is really, really spoiled when it comes to those lightsabers. This, I thought, was like the coolest thing ever growing up, okay? This was like, because it looks really good for a toy, you know? And you can flip out the lightsaber, and it makes noises. Oh, speaking of noises, I wonder if that still works. You have to put like 5 C cells in this thing to make it light up and make sounds. And it was really cool because, like, when you moved it, it would make the wing wing sound, which, you know, for the 1990s, you were doing good to get that. My first ever lightsaber, though, was actually, okay, this is the difference between today and the 1990s. My first ever lightsaber was actually this little traffic director thing that was bought from, like, I don't know, like a Hilo, which is an auto parts store. And it kind of looked like this. It had like a little green thing, and it would light up. It was supposed to be for traffic direction, so it was the lightsaber. But then, ladies and gentlemen, you know, now I don't think that even existed yet, because I do remember getting 2 lightsabers for a birthday. I don't remember what year it was, but those 2 lightsabers were white lightsabers, because that's what they'd sell. They were generic lightsabers, but I was lucky. One was spray painted red, and one was spray painted green. That's what you did back in the day. Force effects, pfft, you just spray painted a white one green, and that was your lightsaber. And you were happy to have it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Also continuing with the live stream, so don't worry, I'm not stopping that. It's just I haven't had time to do anything live stream related. But yeah, Star Wars year, I am so excited. I love Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars fanboy. You know, Episode 1, didn't like it. Episode 2, didn't like it until the clones showed up. You know, Episode 3 was Episode 3. It was okay. You know, Boba Fett, yeah, his character is, he's a pretty bad guy. He's an asshole. You know, he almost died of clone cancer at the age of 70. Yeah, that happened. In a really good book by Karen Travis called Star Wars Legacy, The Force Bloodlines. But Star Wars, that's always been my chosen franchise. I mean, I'm a big fan of Star Trek. I don't think Star Trek is worse than Star Wars, nor do I feel that Star Trek is better than Star Wars, nor do I feel that Star Wars is better than Trek. But Star Wars, you know, nothing gets me more excited than those guys, you know. Also, this poster's going to get switched out now and again. Now, Boba Fett, he's always gonna be there. The Fett Man. Ooh, one more Star Wars thing. I almost forgot. Almost forgot, ladies and gentlemen. Because this is the Star Wars Showcase Jamboree. Alright, now this was actually not my first... I didn't buy this until I was an adult. Slave 1. This is the Shadows of the Empire Slave 1, too. Slave 1 is a ship I did not have officially as a kid. By officially, I mean I did have a Slave 1 as a kid, but it was actually Jango Fett's Slave 1, so it was blue. I still have that. It's in a box, though. Slave 1 is a very big fan favorite ship just because it looks really cool. And the toy is very well designed. There's actually a handle at the back, so you can fly it around and stuff like that. There's a trigger here, but I don't know what it does. There's also a little pop-off panel over here that you can load up Han Solo and Carbonite. And my phone's going off, so I'll have to make a jump cut here. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, the last thing I will show on Slave 1. Also, I am going to talk about the toy in the Shadows of the Empire video, but all you got to do to take off the canopy is it just pops off. There's no hinge that can easily get broken. The Boba Fett that is inside of there is my repro of the legendary 80s Boba Fett. I'm actually going to mention this in the video as well, but I thought I'd show it here. This thing is not particularly worth much. The original, of course, has been worth a lot of money, but this is just a repro. I think I paid something like 10, 20 bucks for this guy. But he's always been kind of like my favorite Boba Fett. Now, like the originals, his missile doesn't even fire. In fact, it's just molded on. So, of course, you can tell it's a repro from that alone. But I've always been a big fan of the legendary Boba Fett, because this is one of the very cool 80s figures. It's not an 80s figure. In fact, let me see. Does it actually say... I thought it might say, you know, who manufactured this. This was yet another eBay buy. Now, I would never spend, you know, $100 on an action figure, or even $50. maybe 50 bucks on an action figure if it was good enough. But this is a cool little Boba Fett. And he gets to fly the Slave One. He gets to ride around in the Slave One like a mouse. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, doing Star Wars stuff is something that I've kind of wanted to do for a long time. I just never have. So yeah, expect a lot of really cool content coming forward. I mean, yeah, I've reached 10 years of YouTube. Sure, I don't have, you know, 1 million subs or even 10,000 yet. But, you know, when it comes down to it, you guys are the best fans anyone could ask for. When you actually look at, like, YouTube comments, usually it is, as they say, a sewer, but my YouTube comments generally are pretty good. You guys, the fans, you know, you've been really good so far, unless you all turn against me. I'm watching you. But anyway, so it comes down to it, you know, you got quality versus quantity, and while quantity has a quality all its own, I would rather ride around in a Panther tank versus Shermie, just saying. Although, then again, with the Panther tank, you know, the drivetrain breaks and you're kind of screwed on that one, but you get the idea. Survivability, ladies and gentlemen. The fact is, though, you know, having high-quality fans is better than having a high quantity of fans that leave annoying comments or crap like that. Most of the comments I get are actually well thought out. The people I've met through Discord and things of that nature, all of you are really intelligent. Really, really intelligent, and it really is quite heartening to see. And, you know, that's pretty good. I would rather have a few high-quality fans than a bunch of screaming 12-year-olds. Just saying. Now, if you are a screaming 12-year-old and you're a fan, please keep watching the content. And remember to support on Patreon. But overall, all of you guys have been really good. You've really kept me going all these years. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, you're not making a lot of money, but you're putting in a lot of effort. And sometimes it's like, I might as well just quit. But then I'll get a good comment and I'll be like, you know, I'll keep doing it if only for that guy. And that's why I keep doing it year after year, because I really do get a good sense of accomplishment, and I'm glad to give you guys the content that I do. I provide a very different kind of video from everyone else. You know, I do things my own way, and I always have, and I will continue to do so. And I'm just glad that all of you have stuck with me for all these years, and I really highly appreciate it. It's not a matter of getting a bunch of fans, it's a matter of getting the right fans. It's the same way with friends. You could have like a whole phone full of contacts, and you never actually talk to any of them. But then, like with me, you have a very few number of contacts, but you talk with them all the time. It's not a matter of having a bunch of friends. It's having the right friends. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That, of course, is the January 2019 update vlog. I hope all of you enjoyed watching the Star Wars stuff jamboree. And I'm going to wish you good Repro 80s Boba Fett. And good, grungy 11, whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.